What's up, everybody? This is Enlightened Masculinity podcast. We're at like episode 200 something. Leave a review for catching this episode. You see, we've had a lot of production out there, a lot of great interviews, and we have some guests back. You've seen them before: Miracle J. Phillips, MJ the Prophet, and Rick Lamore, aka Rick Evenou, but Rick Lamore, because this guy, I actually kind of want to talk about that split personality because I've been getting into some situations where the strippers have stripper names, but then they have like regular names, and sometimes they use their regular name at the club and they get upset about that. But it's like, dude, I got to keep like 20 of you girls straight like that and whatever. But that's actually totally separate because that's why I want to talk to you about that. People should know you're Rick Lamore, but when they look you up, you're Rick Evenou, and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? So I want to unpack that for people because it's like some deeply spiritual shit, man. That'll make a man religious when you go through what Rick is going to probably share. I don't know what he's going to say exactly. And then MJ the Prophet, like, what are you from, straight out of the New Testament? Like MJ the Prophet, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty cool. I want to talk about how that name came about. I'm your host, Yogi Chris, PhD, founder of Ninth Limb Yoga, and also Pimpin' Yogi, founder of IMCBase1.com. And IMCBase1.com and ninthlimb.com, they sponsor this show. So, and then our guests and myself will be tagged on Instagram in the description and everything. TK, he posts all this stuff. So shout out to TK for getting all 200 something episodes posted. And we're going to 1,000. I'm looking forward to that 1000 episode. That's where it's going. Oh, he's on right now. Look, so subscribe, guys. He just posted the link. Leave a review. And let's get started. So MJ, brother, you're coming here for the party? Is that what's happening January?
I'm going for it, man.
Yeah.
I got my eyes set on it. Really quick about that. I've been basing my decisions in life differently now. It's been interesting. I remember AZD made an analogy one day about his character leveling up, and the only way to learn is to have certain experiences. And all of these things that we're doing is giving us experience points.
Yep.
So that's the frame that I've been looking through, and I feel like going out there again. January, it's a new year, and what a way to get some experience points to start off the year.
Yeah, for sure. When's your birthday?
April.
Right on. For sure, there's gonna be a lot of experience points. That's what the event is. You came to an event prior party like a month or two ago, but scheduling conflict and the way you got the plane tickets and the work and everything, you ended up missing the party because we didn't coordinate right. So you'll be here for this party. That's very exciting. It's a speed dating event, Millionaires Club, my project with AZD, and man, that's been really fulfilling. I'd love to talk more about that. I don't talk about that enough. So MJ, where'd you get the name MJ the Prophet?
Funny, brother. I actually probably yesterday or the day before, I just got a urge to pull up the video that you take of me getting my beads from AZD, because that's where the name came from.
So he called you that in your bead ceremony?
Yeah, because I was Miracle Kid for a long time, and I had been looking to switch my name because I was like, the kid just wasn't doing it for me anymore. And I think I was on a Lion's Den or something, and AZD was like, what about Miracle J? He was like, how does that sound? I was like, yeah, it sounded a hell of a lot better. So I went to Miracle J, and then when I got Beaded at Base 1, he updated me to Miracle J the Prophet.
Miracle J the Prophet.
Yeah.
Gotcha. MJ the Prophet. That's really cool. And we could talk about that because I don't know how much the audience, these episodes are getting more and more views, and I guess we're doing something right. And, so there's people after this that they may not really be exposed to Miracle J and why you're a living miracle, and you become what you speak. And you've literally, like, in the last 10 years, lived that life of speak it and become it, and speak it and become it. And you're guiding yourself in that process. And you're with us now. You're aligned with a really, really strong tribe that's global, that you are held in very high respect for. And so it's giving you some leverage where, you've spoken on the same stage as Rob Proctor and Brian Casella, and done some really fabulous traveling as a speaker. almost like a side hustle, barely even trying really. And so that's pretty sick. So you're a prophet bringing the good message, the good word of Miracle J. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? And then, we'll blend it together, but I'll just hop over to Rick Lamore. Would you tell us the story again of Lamore, the warrior, right? From was he a Haitian that led an uprising that ultimately was like killed or something, but led an uprising, maybe it was like of slaves. I think that like successfully like defeated their captors or whatever and took their freedom by force. And that was led by Lamore. Is it something like that?
Yes, that's correct. He was a general for the Haitian army at the time in 1800s. That was when the revolution started, the slave revolution against the French colony.
Uh-huh.
And what made him really, he wasn't really known at the time until a very specific battle, which was the very last battle that happened, the independence battle, you would call it. That's when he really made a name for himself, and that's when he became renowned on the battlefield. And what really happened was he was leading a small group of slaves to take on this fort. Back in the days, they had the fortified like sort of like a castles, and they would be like on top of a mountains that overlooked the whole city. And that was the main stronghold for the French. And that was, if they could just capture that single fort, they would pretty much, push out all the French out of the country. Mm-hmm. And they assigned him the role of the general to take on that fort with not too many soldiers actually. But the story goes that as the battle was happening, he got on his horse and he started charging at the French, just him up front, just started riding, and he was telling all the soldiers, freedom or death, and then let's just go. And then as he was going, there was a cannon, a bullet that hit his horse, and then he fell, and then he got back up and started charging again. And then another bullet went and took his hat. Actually, if you look him up, you always see that picture of him on a horse with a cannon that hit his hat. That's like the main picture of him.
Yeah.
And he got up and kept going again. At that time, one of the French generals saw him, and then he paused the battle, and then he sent somebody to actually shake his hand and commend him for his bravery. And then after that, people literally stood up and clapped for him. And then the battle resumed again. Whoa. And that's how the story goes, man. And then that's how, he became very known and as a general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So. Cool, man. So you've taken on that spirit and blended your names to just be a constant, regular, continuous reminder to yourself of that. Of what? Of what is it reminding you?
Well, it's pretty much it's funny because at the time when I don't remember how the conversation went. It was during a Lions Den.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember that conversation. Yeah, that
was dope. I remember what I was doing, everything.
It's funny, man, because I forgot about that story like years ago. Like I never even spoke of that story ever. But when I don't know how it came up, but when AZD asked me something, and that was like the first thing that popped in my head. I guess it was just one of those things that was there like in my subconscious the whole time.
Yeah.
But I never really, I've only known this story when I was like in second or third grade. Oh. And it I guess, it really had an effect on me or something like that. So I don't know why at that moment, that was like the first thing that popped in my mind. And that was very interesting. I was thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then I was like, okay, all right, I'll take it,
Yeah.
But again, it's all in the spirit of bravery and also, just no matter what, just, if there's, and no matter what the obstacle is to keep going. And that's been the spirit.
And so what's been going on in your evolution? of mind, of relationships, of along in this on this process. You're one of the guys that's just been so regular for a while. That like, what are you starting to see? This is like almost like some kind of gradient scale or whatever. By talking about like where you're at, people can kind of get more perspective and context on where they're at. So like, what's been new with you, man?
Yeah. So if we're talking relationship wise, I have a
The evolution of your relationships. I mean, or if
the evolution
of them or whatever.
Like personal. Okay. It's just been like, man, I've just learned to calm down a lot and let things go. And I know it sounds like a very simple thing. It's actually not, because a lot of times things happen in your life, well, in my life, where, for example, let me see, just as a recent example. Okay. There's one for a while when, I was trying to get my business going for a while, and actually, when it actually picked up, I got to this level where I was like at my peak, and then it kind of slowed down again, and production went down and everything. And then it was very interesting because I was watching myself like becoming less motivated to actually work and going for it. I kind of lost the vision that I was going for. I kind of lost the purpose. And then.
And why was that? I missed like why that was.
Oh, because everything just kind of slowed down. It was just like an internal, like.
Oh, okay.
It was like an internal thing going on, Then.
But
again, yeah, it was just my own self. It wasn't anything external. It was just me.
Yeah.
And then
I was just lecturing on that exact thing. So it's funny that I didn't even hear what you'd said. But yeah, go ahead. That's yeah. See, I get it.
And then I began to realize, yeah, it's just this whole time it's just been me fucking myself over. It's just been my own mind just fucking things up, and that's all that's been really going on. It's just everybody live in their own world, and what I've been on is trying to clean out my insides, because if I'm gonna be in here the whole time in my life, then I better make it a place where I'm comfortable, where I'm safe, where I can call home, So it's just been I've just been on that process a lot, and a lot of it has to do with I do a lot of relaxation exercises, and also beasting out helps a lot too. And yeah, man, that's what I've been on really, and it's been great.
Yeah, man, that's great. For sure, man. The beasting and the relaxing, they're really good opposites, because I think one really helps you do the other. Relaxing is good for beasting because one, it prevents injury, but I think when the spine is longer and more decompressed, you have more contraction potential in your limbs. And so when you have more space in your spine from relaxing, you're stronger. They test grip potential in people that meditate, and after meditating, their grip got stronger. And but then also beasting helps you relax because you got something to let go of. Sometimes if you're always relaxing, you're like, man, you're bored. Beasting makes it so you're never bored relaxing. Relaxing is like so good after beasting, or if you're beasting every day, at any point when you relax, it's like, oh man, I needed this. Like sometimes contracting the muscle helps it relax right after. So that's dope. MJ, what about you, brother? MJ the Prophet, Miracle J, spelled Jay, like a blue jay, but he's a Miracle J. What's up with it, brother? What's up with evolution? On this path, what are some innovations or things you've been looking at for yourself? I mean, if you could, oh, you were going to do a riff. Weren't you going to do a measure or something for us? You had a rhyme. Did you have a rhyme for us?
Oh shit, I forgot about that. I forgot about it, but hey man, I'm the type to I spent a good number of years of my life freestyling, just off the top of my head. So I didn't realize, like somebody mentioned that today. Matter of fact, it was Trey Morgan.
Trey Morgan. Oh, that guy grinds my gears.
Yeah, but he had mentioned my freestyling. I didn't know he was watching my shit. And it reminded me of how it reminded me of you in a way, because everybody sees you doing like handstands and these things that you worked on for like years and years and years and put hours of time into. And I don't know if it's like this for you, but you know, to me, freestyling isn't something that seems like super, super hard. Probably because I've been doing it so long, and I saw a correlation to you. I mean, how many fucking handstands have you done in your life? And,
No.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I forgot to actually write one, but I'm the type to just do it on the spot. But whatever.
But that would be cool. I'd forgotten. Next time that you're on, it would be cool to like start it off like that or something.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a quick question for Miracle J on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you're freestyling, how do you focus on rhyming at the same time focusing on being coherent with what you're saying, like trying to make it make sense and rhyming at the same time? How do you do that?
I can relate it to any kind of practice or something that you do over and over and over again for so long. Part of it becomes subconscious. So I have a lot of, let's say each bar, which is like a line of rhyming words, I've done so many of them that they almost connect by themselves in my subconscious, so I don't have to focus on them. So when I'm rapping, very little energy or focus is used on actually rhyming the words, because I can just trust that one of those bars is gonna pop up. And so yeah, it's like a bunch of canned bars, and they just come up as I go. So all I really have to think of is like a punchline that I want to mention or something, and yeah, and it just flows.
Reminds me of when I would like solo on guitar, and there's like a familiarity with like different licks that you could have or different riffs or combinations of notes. And you'll see this with a lot of guitar, but almost all guitar players are not great guitar players, really. They're good and they have skills, but they're playing the same licks over and over, and they're just kind of cycling between a bunch of things. There's not enough innovation to get to like that level, but they could get also so good at those licks that they become the best at those licks, and then they are the best. Then they are super good at that thing, and that's, you know, like improvisationalists would almost pride themselves on like not repeating that thing, not being predictable, and but I only ever like glimpsed that ever. It was mostly like I would get frustrated at myself because I would be like playing the same shit that I've heard myself play, and my fingers would be making the same movement that I've seen or felt it do. And I was like striving for that like newness or whatever, but then I had to measure it against like all of the exploration of learning the guitar, because there's only so much like, you know, there was a lot there to learn, to study. People have like systematized it, but then I had to start measuring it against like these other things I do in life, like teaching yoga. Guitar took practice. Just because I thought about it, like to actually play it took practice of the motor mechanics and calluses and tuning and replacing it, and then all the other things, whatever I was doing at the time, PhD or whatever, I kind of left it behind. But I always think about it, and I do what the did you do, and I think about, man, it'd be cool to have a collab with like Miracle J if he was like rapping and I had some cool strum going on or something. But I don't have a guitar anymore. Anyway, this is like glory days, really. So yeah, Miracle, like what's up with your evolution and what's going on with the evolution of your consciousness, your mind, your communication, like anything coming through? I know you do like a lot of communication each day, and then you're coming out here in January. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, so definitely there's been shifts in my focus and things that I've been looking into. I remember around the time of the Bob Proctor thing.
The Bob Proctor thing, where Miracle J talked on the same stage online with one of the biggest self-help gurus of all time, Bob Proctor, that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, I started to get into the metaphysical again, and really seeing the alignment of where I was putting my focus and how things were manifesting. And I'm still sort of on that process. For instance, I'm getting like business wise and money wise, I've been evolving there, and I'm in a process of starting wholesaling real estate.
Oh
I was
shit.
going the license route, but every day I'm reminded, man, like I don't have a bunch of fucking time. I missed
Yeah.
a lot of years in hospitals and shit like that. I
Oh,
can't
fuck.
spend all this time to fucking get licensed and shit like that and whatever. So
Yeah,
wholesaling
yeah.
is a quicker route.
Yeah.
And
Well, what excites you these days? What are you enthusiastic about? Like, what really brightens you up? Brotherhood of the Beast.
actually, yeah, man, that's the big part of my day because
Yeah, fuck
it
yeah.
brings
It
me
has
back
to be
to
every day for 10 a.m. Then the students got to be consistent too, or you get chewed out or something. So it's like, fuck, man, every day. But that's what it is, right?
yeah, and it keeps you on your toes, man. It's like if I miss a day of Brotherhood of the Beast, like my shit feels off, man. And if I am off and I come to Brotherhood of the Beast, just a reminder that of how much I got to get back on my shit because I'm a part of a fucking powerful tribe, man. Um, and yeah, the power is like I want to say we feed off of each other, but we bring each other up, and yeah, man, it's just a big part of my day. And when I go out into the world to hold these frames that we get and these references that we get from each other's lives and these powerful moments, we're getting a reference of how to be when we go out into the world or the matrix or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And just playing with these different characters and things like that.
Man, that's what it is. That's what it's been for me. It's actually, it came sooner with the girls, like the girls that are on the stream right now. Well, not sort of. Jackie's a student, and then Vanessa and Kat. Is Kat still on? I don't know if Kat's still on. Where is she? She's gone. Oh, all right. Well, maybe she'll hear it later. The women will get a different reference when they're around you. Like AZD was talking about on lecture. Like when they're around you, they see how, oh, there she is. I see her. And they may have never seen that. They may have never felt that. And it creates this new kind of a reference in them that they can almost strive for, or that they can see themselves in. They see a different role that they're playing. And it's by being next to you, alongside you, moving through the world and just seeing how much respect you give them, how you give them space from other people, where their attention goes. And over time it accumulates, because you can only mold her in so much in one visit, you could say, or one interaction or whatever. You go too much and the metal might break because it hasn't warmed up enough. But if you go too little, then it may not be the shape you need it to be by the time you need it to be there when time calls for it. So it's like there's urgency, but then at the same time, it's like, hey, like Rick is saying, like, let it go. So much of that. And but more lately now, I don't know what shifted, but now it's been I've been catching the character or the self-image in a trying moment. And that's great, man. How gratifying that is, because that's like some spiritual evolution, leaping forward. We're in a moment where I'm being reactive, which doesn't always come in like some aggressive like outburst. It could be internally I'm collapsing or shrinking or something. It's reaction. That in that moment, insert character. And then watch your posture change, breathing change. And it's like, holy fuck, how much of my destiny did I just change? Did I just change? How many people have gotten like in a car accident when they left someplace because they were upset about something? And if they just inserted a character right there, or whatever fucking shit happens with people. So much of shit, it's like shit happens when we're thinking negatively about something and we lose track of the world, and then we stumble or hit our toe or drop that thing, or Every time you dropped a glass and broke it, you were just thinking something when you dropped it. You didn't drop it unless it was like soap and like, but even there, like a lot of times it's a misestimation. You'll know it's soapy and you still won't do it right. Why? Why weren't all of your intellectual, why wasn't it there? Why weren't you thinking about it? You were thinking about something else when shit like that happens. Because you're perfect. You wouldn't make mistakes like that. So I don't want to just keep talking. I got Rick and Miracle J, man. You guys, it's good tapping in with you. Rick, when's the next time you think you're going to make it out here? Hey, Aris Valeris on.
Yeah, February for sure.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because well, why not? My brother, he works for an airline company, and all his immediate family get free flight, and that I believe that starts for me in February.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm gonna be out there more often, man.
Man, yeah, that's great to work in the budget and leverage that, and that's exciting, man. I'm real excited. I like flying. I like to travel through the airport. There's a lot of no strings attached communications that is very freeing. And it's amazing how that could also be the way, because I never thought of it as an escape so much as a training for my everyday life. Like just bring that back to my everyday life. Like that freedom of attachment with people in passing. We're all just travelers passing each other. And some of us decide to walk together for a while. Some of us even longer. So that's dope. So February and right on.
I'm actually terrified of airplane, but every time I fly out to the base, I always say to myself, hey, if I'm gonna go out, at least I went out trying to better myself. You feel me? So, yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
I get that. And I've flown so much, and I still sometimes, and only lately as an adult, I never used to have the thought. It was like in the last 2 or 3 years, maybe I started when I was flying, and it's not like, I was smoking weed. I never got paranoid, but for some reason, the last 2 or 3 years, I've just been like, I don't know, maybe it's because I love myself so much and I really value my life so much. Maybe I used to not. And it's like, now I'm like, man, this is like totally out of my control right now. I'm like looking down, I'm like, this sucks. Like it's awesome, but like, this sucks, man. I just gotta like hope they do it right. And but what's the other option? Like move to California so you can drive, set up shop here. You do screen printing there in Boston, supplying greater Boston area with excellent screen printing.
Yeah, I'm actually down to move, man. If I remember Shamir was gonna secure that place, and I was 100% gonna make that move. I was gonna leave everything behind and then just do it, man.
What happened? That was not the impression I heard from this end.
Really?
I didn't hear negative things said, but I don't remember hearing he's down, he's there. Like what happened with us, maybe I'm biased, but what happened with us was AZD plants the seed to do it like December 2019, right after I broke up with my girl. And so I was all down, and then we did this 3-day training. And right afterwards, he's like, hey, I think, we should do like a Project Hollywood. It was going to be in Los Angeles and, or Hollywood, whatever. So I started thinking who was going to do it. I was just selecting from some candidates. There were like 12 or 15 guys that I was looking at, and who was capable, who was willing, who wanted to do it. And then getting Sultan to look for a house, because I was still traveling doing yoga. So he's looking for a house January, February, March, April. Still hadn't found a house. Now I'm living in Houston during COVID, and it's like May. Fuck. By the time May comes, I'm like, I'm just going to go, because I'm paying for an Airbnb here in Houston. The price of the Airbnb in California is not going to be that much more. And I'll save money on my plane ticket because I was still flying back and forth for the event. So it's like, it kind of works out actually. And I'll just set up there until we get the house on lockdown or whatever. I never thought that I would be the one that found the house. I just Googled it and found a house, and which is amazing. It took 6 months of searching, but then later I just Googled it and found the house. And it's not that he wasn't looking. It just so happens that's how it is. It's like the motherfucker that goes up to the poker table or the blackjack table and like just plays one hand and bets it all and wins and walks off. And the other guy's like doing all the strategy right. And so I just plopped myself down here. That's what Cortez did. And the other two guys were close enough. They were locals in Cali. And then AZD said that he didn't want to do it anymore. Originally, Cortez wasn't going to do it. I kind of nudged for him to do it. And so that we would have 5 guys instead of 4. And then AZ said he doesn't want to do it. So then I talk him back into doing it. And then we find the house, long story short, and then we move in. Lots of difficulties, man. Oh, man. How we moved out of the last place, because we got $30,000 to move out of the last place. We had our deposit that was given back to us. Plus I grew the lawn. So they gave me like $2,000 for that or something. And then the rest was like 23 grand or so, 22 or 23 grand. So we got 23 grand in excess because of how Arash negotiated through Sultan and myself, I guess, but mostly through Sultan. And man, we needed every penny of that. Dude, it was difficult to move. We had to move to an Airbnb and all the searching, somehow all the money went, and I don't know how. But we persist, you know? So getting yourself here, that would be really successful. MJ, what's up with it, brother? When it comes to basing, guys, I'm real interested in your take on that. So you're going to move your business to California. Or is that what you would think? Rick, I know I just stepped over to MJ, but Rick, you're going to bring your screen printing here?
I wouldn't be able to, because I would have to, it would be very difficult to transfer all the machinery over there.
Unless you drove a U-Haul the whole way.
A U-Haul?
Yeah, unless you drove a truck the whole way with them.
I guess that would be the only way, really, to do that.
It would be a lot of days and a lot of miles, actually. That would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and also, I guess I would have to do it like in wherever the base was. I would have to do it in-house. Like wherever I would live, I would have to do it in there.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I guess
you just get some other gig.
I would for a little bit. I would for a little bit until I can, establish myself again.
Got you.
Yeah, that would be the only thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Right on. They're doing petitioning right now. So let's see. And then MJ's looking. Are you still looking to go to Phoenix?
It's either gonna be Phoenix or San Jose. I've been talking to Powerhouse and Oracle and Shamir. Yeah. I'm in that whole mix of what's going on.
Man, these guys.
Yeah.
These guys. We were at dinner one time. It's funny. It's always funny when I make Arash legit laugh. It's funny. And so he was sitting at the table at dinner. We were at one of these restaurants, and Shamir was having difficulty getting guys to like commit or whatever. And I don't remember the wording exactly. I think AZD said something like, Chris, what do you think? Like, could you get any guys to base up here? I don't know where he thought that was going to take it. If he was just trying to like bump set me for a spike, or if he just like said that out of curiosity or something. And I was like, yeah, I could get anybody to move here in IMC Nation. And he laughed at that. And it was like, oh, because Shamir was like having difficulty with it or whatever. And I ended up saying some things or whatever, because I haven't really pushed the guys to do it because I don't know. I bring it up, I suppose, as I just did. And now people, everybody that's the audience are hearing about it. This is the movement that's happening. Like there's going to be like a lot of people are going to see this recording and they're going to hear about it. And it's the process of you guys being where you're at and growing, getting better, more advanced and evolved, and making this decision to make to move and relocate yourself and start a new life practically. And is there some intent of going back? Is there some intent of moving on to somewhere else? Are you just going to stay there forever or how long? And is that important? Maybe it's not important. What are you going to do for money? Like what is this thing you're on? What's this path? Is it, it's relationships and communication and whatever, emotional intelligence, the matrix, tribal effects, like having real friends around. Is it worth it or not? It's like you say to the girl, what's your life like without me? She'll get by. She probably won't wither up and die without you. She'll rely on whatever she can find, some other man or men to support her in some way. I don't even mean sexually. That's in there, obviously. She's a sexual creature. She probably, but I just mean like, what's life like without me talking to the woman if you're the guy? And, you know, how much is that worth? Is it worth this, the freedom or the benefits, the things that you get? The beingness and the quality. Some people, it's just not worth it to them. It comes close. They have to sit back and measure it a lot. Some more than others. Cortez didn't have any measure. It didn't seem like he was gonna do it. I don't know how long he had been thinking about it. He was on the show, I think yesterday, and I think he talked about it was just like while he was at war and he almost died, and then he was like, I gotta go to San Jose. Whereas me, I was thinking about it from like the first time I visited, and I was sitting back measuring it for 5 years if I should do it or not. And then when COVID happened, I was like, okay, now's the time. So Phoenix or San Jose for MJ. So there might be a mass pilgrimage of IMC guys coming this way. I was looking at the roster. I just got the tack board and the big map. So when you guys come, Miracle J, when you come in January, we're gonna have the big tack board and the 4 by 6 foot map of the world with colored tacks where all the IMC Nation guys are. And right now, it's like 30 or 35% of guys are in California. It seems like of the top guys. Although there's a lot at the top that are kind of dispersed everywhere, really. So this whole movement, this podcast is not about enlightened masculinity growing necessarily for its own thing. This is a piece of a puzzle or a gear in a machine that makes the thing go better, because we spread the word. We get good at this craft so that we can make it blow up and grab audience. We practice our communication. We check in with each other. The tribe strengthens. You invite your people. More people come. And we make plans for the future. We talk and dialogue. That's like what MJ did when he was in the hospital and a fucking car went over his head. And when he got his wits back and he starts, I mean, through the help of AZD, that's why he, you know, swears his allegiance to AZD, applying his mind, his imagination, his communication to move forward his condition, stepping into his condition. Me moving here and starting the base and getting the base going against a bunch of objections, resistances, and whatever obstacles was keep talking about it over and over and over and over and over again. And the people that can't handle that, they won't be in the base. The people that can't handle how much I talk about AZD beast camps are not coming to a beast camp. Because what else are you doing with your money? Girls, that's what you do with the silent flute. All the girls here are on my silent flute. Vanessa, you're not on the silent flute, but what the fuck else are you doing with your money? So that's, she's going to join back or she won't, whatever. She'll figure it out. Like somebody was saying, one of your IMC brothers, oh man, you gotta, oh man, I wrote this message. Oh man. I don't want to, I'm fucking hogging the mic, dude. I don't know what to ask you guys. So I'm just kind of riffing.
Well, I had a question for, because I recently, I don't know why, man, something just made me want to go back to, these were key moments in the last few years of my journey with IMC and being around AZD, which was I rewatched the Bob Proctor speech and I rewatched my bead ceremony. And one thing that he said and at the end of my speech with Bob Proctor is that I'm a butcher the fucking quote, so I'm not gonna try to do it verbatim. But when you can communicate a man who can communicate can something change the world, some shit like that. And I look at you. So when I look at you, I'm like, fuck, Yogi Chris is a dangerous motherfucker. Cause I just see what you can do with your communication, man, is lethal. I mean, you literally said AZD was like, I'm not doing the bass, and you talked them back into doing it. Like, what the fuck? And I'm in the background as being your apprentice. And it's not in a covert way where you have bad intentions. It's for the good intentions of a lot of people, but people resist good shit for
Yeah.
whatever reason, their own personal reasons.
Right.
So yeah, man, I just saw you as a dangerous guy. Do you feel dangerous? And then I had the same thing about Rick, because I'm looking at both of you guys. I'm like, Rick, that's a dangerous motherfucker, man, because I see his discipline. And like every morning this dude is in the gym, or even at the beginning of the process, he was in the freezing cold outside, beasting out, like just doing normal shit, unnormal shit, like supernatural shit, sleeping at the park. And yeah, I'm like, these are some dangerous motherfuckers. So I mean, like, do y'all feel dangerous? Random question.
I think I could put more focus on it. I don't think I put enough focus on it because it makes me feel really good when I think about it. And the way you just put my attention on it, I really like it. And I think that I'm in a kind of a, it's not an echo chamber, but it's kind of like almost an IMC cocoon, because I communicate so much just with IMC people. Like, I don't talk to anybody else. And so I communicate so much about beast camps, about this tech. I mean, the girls I'm talking to, I'm just talking about this tech, my girls training group, my apprentice group. Like, all I'm talking about is this stuff. All I do from wake till sleep is this stuff or this process somehow. I live with the guys. Like, it's all I do. I've put myself in this position intentionally. Like I said, for 5 years, I was measuring it. So, hey, that was a weird sound. I've never heard that sound. It was like almost autistic, like drunk. So, I forget how good I am, but then, how good you are. Like today, the guy at the U-Haul place, he was on lunch. Didn't matter how good I was. That dude was really sour-faced, probably about a girl. That guy, I couldn't, that guy, he didn't want to help me. He's on lunch. How long are you on lunch for, brother? I just started. Oh. Okay. I haven't seen a guy be so petty the way he acted, like so pouty. And then when the girl came in, she'll help you. I was like, okay, this is who I'm looking for. I started thinking maybe they got in a fight. She's not acting very hospitable either, but she's at least doing, I don't know, whatever. I think dangerous is not, I don't use that as a measure, as the word to describe it, but I think it might be because I was just talking about earlier how I was talking to the guys that were helping us move, and I was very sharp with them, sharp toned, and got stuff moving, got stuff done, and ended it without hostility. So I think, I don't know. Sometimes I overstep my bounds. Like I was going to tell you, this is what I'm going to read the text, guys. So I'll be back on Instagram in a second. I got to read this. So I sent this to a cousin of one of our top IMC brothers, blood cousin. And this other guy is a 4 boot camp alumni. He's invested like $4 or $5 grand. He's still in Brotherhood of the Beast, but he unfollowed me. And I didn't know that when I went to message him, and I saw that he had left my last 2 sets of messages unreplied. We've already been through this with him. I've already said, hey, why are you leaving me on red? This and that. Oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Did that on text too. I think it's happened twice with him. I said, your cousin is stepping it up. His cousin is the guy I just said is starting his messengers training. I said it on lecture the other day. Yesterday, I think. Your cousin is stepping it up, but you've been stepping down now for a while, and you're getting dusted, I see. You're still on Brotherhood, but you're not on lectures. And you unfollowed Arash's right-hand man. So, by the way, that's how I got people to base. That's how I get people to boot camps. I'm that guy right next to Arash. And so I just get away with saying a lot and doing a lot because I'm that guy right next to Arash. but I've made it so. And you unfollowed Arash's right-hand man. So I'm removing you from my newsletter notes and announcements. And you can suck mediocrity's dick until you want to really show up for yourself. I hope you're gaming your girl around an IMC Nation brother because he won't know who you are. I don't know. It's pretty. I don't know if that's dangerous or not. That's how much danger I know about myself, is saying stuff like that, and sometimes I have flashbacks of like violence or whatever because I'm a pretty violent guy actually, but I haven't been violent in a long, long time. So I don't think anybody could get me there unless, I go through visions and beasting or whatever. I don't know how dangerous I am like that. Really, I don't want to really test it. Really, that's a really exciting topic, Miracle. I can see how I could just like go off on that. Like there, man. Dangerous, man. That's what, like, yes, I do feel dangerous in my communication with most people. Yes. Man, that's such an interesting question. I do. I'll hand it over to Rick, brother.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Do you feel dangerous?
Absolutely, brother. I feel dangerous, but it only shows when I'm in a situation where it actually, I have this deep knowingness that if I'm in a situation where I have to, let's say, do something really bad or violent, I know that I can. And I train for that every day. Every day I do boxing. I spar a lot. I spar about 4 times a week with random guys at the gym. If I see a guy hitting the bag, I just show up and say, hey, you want to spar? And, I don't care what size the guys is, and I just spar with them. And I just know that I can take care of business and protect myself when the time requires it. And I don't focus much on trying to appear dangerous, although in the beginning I did. But I realized, man, you know what? It's all about knowing that I can be dangerous when I need to be, and I know that I actually am dangerous. And one mistake that I made before was always, that was like way in the past, man. I was trying to look tough and sound tough, but it was coming from an insecurity place inside of me. And I really worked on getting rid of that and really just live and be the way I am right now, knowing that when it's time for me to take care of business and do what I need to do, I will show up. And a lot of people that I actually admired actually are in the same way. And I just want to be that way also. So yeah, I do feel dangerous. I know I am. So unless somebody wants to test it, they can.
Yeah.
But, that's it. That's all there is to it.
It's pretty dangerous.
And about Yogi Chris, man, you're that one guy, like every time you message me about like camps and stuff, I just feel like I cannot bullshit this guy. I got to tell him straight up how it is. It's just like that, man. Every time I see your messages, I'm like, oh shit, here comes Yogi Chris. And then and I just brace myself, man. I'm just like, all right. And then, yeah, just like when I like Miracle J was saying, it's like with you, man, like I just know I gotta keep it like straight 100 with you, always. So I guess, you are dangerous, motherfucker, man.
Yeah, man. And I think Miracle J would have, even as an apprentice, because you've heard so much of the story and the background of all these things that I've done, my, like, that effect that I have on Rick is because I'm Arash's right-hand man. It's not just because I'm Chris. Like, there's power that I can wield. And I think I'm much more dangerous psychologically, and my ability to recruit a lot of energy and cooperation from people that themselves are also dangerous. And my ability to imagine outside the box so I can formulate communication to persuade the person is, in my mind, still not advanced enough. Like, because I live with the master. So it's like, man, it's never good enough. I get down on myself sometimes. It's just like never good enough. But then I forget, because I'm so close to the source. I forget how good I'm so far above like a lot of people. And then you brothers are on the path too. And it's very exciting. I decided a long time ago I didn't want to talk with other people because it's just dull, man. It's dim. Or it's goofy. So, right on. Well, we've been going a long time. I don't want to just talk forever. Rick, I've always, and I like how you guys communicate, just here, because the way that you talked brought out this kind of enthusiasm in me and like bubbled up some energy. So I don't know if you were doing that on purpose, but like I said, it's rare to talk with people that know how to communicate. And maybe you didn't know that that's what you're doing, but you were talking on things that were bringing me up emotional scale. Miracle J talking about danger like that brought us up on emotional scale. And I would like to improve in that skill. Maybe I don't have my consciousness looking at it enough, and I don't want to just like, it is almost like too obvious right now. I don't know what I would say, but I could say that Miracle J's persistence and courage on his path is really does not allow me to complain. Just having that in my consciousness is not, just like not possible. It's like he doesn't allow me to. So he makes me stronger, him being in the tribe like that. And, and then I just straight up admire that the path that you're on. And Rick, Rick, I don't really feel like I know you that well. And yet we always have great conversation, and I can tell you're strong. I can tell that, like, in your personality, I can tell that doing the right thing is very important to you. And I like that. Because then we can go through any of the bullshit in communication if you know that about the person. And I forget how young you are, which is a really cool quality. So those are the things that come to mind for me. If you guys, so we need to wrap it up. My Instagram's about to end, so I'll just end the Instagram actually. But if you guys got any closing statements, I'll hand it over to you, Miracle J. If you got anything for these guys. Everybody should sign up for Beast Camp. Wait, before you do that. Okay, Daniel Roque should sign up for Beast Camp. Marcello should sign up for Beast Camp. Tony Kosminski should sign up for Beast Camp. Vanessa Sinclair should sign up for Silent Flute. Raul Cervantes, Ascension to Invoice. And you all should be here. You should also come here for Christmas if you want to come here, if you can. Just come here for Friday, Saturday, and like watch movies with us. And I don't know, we'll probably smoke weed and hit up girls on Instagram or something. All right, so you're all invited. Okay, Miracle J, what's up? Last word.
Let's see, man. What's coming up for me is just the importance of my life, what I want, really, and the power of having a tribe, because I've never had this reference in my life outside of just like friends, like social circles, and that shit only went so far. Wasn't really any power in it, just people with similar interests. And the more you say you admire me sticking to this path. Well, I stick to this path because it brings me power and it improves my life. Every time I begin to invest in something that is IMC, I look at, of course, money is always a factor. And then I think about my life and I say, is this adding value to my life or taking away? Money's always going to be there. I can always make money back. With these experiences, this knowledge, this power, the stuff that I gain from it, these references are It's not something you can buy. And I don't know how long it's gonna be here. I've already had a near-death experience. And if I can get close to my potential, I'm fucking all in. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's a great, powerful way to put those words together. If I can get near my potential, I'm all in. That's fucking dope. And near-death experience is like underphrases it. That's like not even close enough. Like near-death is like I almost drove off a cliff. Like almost dying is, I mean, I guess that's near-death, but it's like, how can the two be the same thing? I don't get it. All right, what's up? Rick Lamore, you got any last things for the audience? Or also remember, there's a recorded audience. Because I actually post my shit.
Yeah, it's for me, it's all about sticking to the path and staying connected to IMC, and because you guys probably don't know, but man, you guys like AZD and this whole process did a lot for me, man. Like only I know what's done for me, and yeah, it's I know I got to stick around, and obviously I will, and continue to grow and get better and grow spiritually, financially, emotionally, in every way. And that's all I got to say, brother.
Right on, right on. One day we should like somehow maybe put playlists together or something when you've been in an episode and we have like a playlist of like Rick's episodes, a playlist of like Miracle J's episodes. That would be interesting. Yeah. And you could send that playlist to like educate some new girl you're talking to. Like, here, listen to these interviews. This will learn about me and my brothers. Cool, man. All right, everybody. If you're still watching this on the recording, then definitely follow, leave a review. Everybody else, I'll see you next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. And thanks for your attendance. It's been great having such a big live audience. Os, namaste.